I'm getting ready to watch the third Republican presidential primary debate because one of us has to do it. But it is all just a weird, silly shouting match, right? Like, if the people on that stage tonight thought that someone besides Donald Trump should be and could be their party's nominee, they would all be supporting that person. What we're watching them compete for tonight is better billing on Fox News next year. You can tell that we're on NBC and not Fox because the first question was like, what are you gonna do about Donald Trump? Like, why are you better than him? And DeSantis and Haley were both like, look, Donald Trump was the best. He's a great guy. He was the best in 2016, but I am the best now. Chris Christie was like, I don't know how he can be president if he's trying not to go to jail, which honestly, valid. Tim Scott was like, you know what I'm gonna get God back into America. And Vivek Ramaswamy started attacking the moderators and said that instead the debate should be moderated by Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and I think Elon Musk. Now they're talking about the Israel-Hamas war, and as expected, they're giving very pro-destruction answers across the board. Not expected, Vivek Ramaswamy called Nikki Haley Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels. Ron DeSantis is like, Florida is the only state in the nation where you can feel safe. Florida. I don't like Nikki Haley. I don't like her at all. But Vivek Ramaswamy is going at her so hard that I'm like starting to feel defensive. They're talking about the military. They all want you to know that they're very pro-military, but they're all very pro-military in like different ways, you know? And they cannot decide. They simply cannot decide this whole debate if we should be more afraid of leakage at our own borders or the Chinese Communist Party, but they do all want us to be afraid of both. Vivek Ramaswamy wants to kick China out of the World Trade Organization. Can the president do that? Like, he's not going to be president, but if he was president, is that a realistic? I don't think he could do that. Chris Christie is like, TikTok is poisoning all of our minds, but Facebook is fine. Vivek Ramaswamy was like, I don't want to talk about why I'm on TikTok. Nikki Haley's daughter was on TikTok. And then the whole audience sort of like booed, like, we're not going to bring the kids into this. Like, it's some sort of like Real Housewives reunion or something. They're all trying to come across as the most pro-fracking candidate around. And they're still not talking about the guy who they're all really running against. They're not talking about him. They're talking about each other. Chris Christie is going to fix the economy by supporting Israel. They were just talking about whether or not they would support raising the retirement age. And Tim Scott was like, no, the farmers in Iowa, they won't be able to handle it. And Vivek Ramaswamy was like, you know what? I'm a CEO. And Ron DeSantis made, actually, I hate to say this, but a great point, that it would be insane to raise the retirement age in America while life expectancy is on the decline. And Nikki Haley and Chris Christie said, you know, of course, like, current old people don't deserve to lose any of their benefits, but young people, they should be able to handle it. We'll just raise their retirement age. And honestly, if they don't put up with it, it's like because they're whiny. Get over it. Ron DeSantis is going to solve the fentanyl crisis by just shooting anyone who tries to bring it into the country stone cold dead while he's president. They asked him about abortion and like what they're all going to do about the fact that the voting populace is like sort of overwhelmingly pro-choice. And Ron DeSantis was like, actually, Republicans are anti-choice. They just have to be reminded that they're anti-choice. And Nikki Haley was like, you know, I don't support you having reproductive rights, but I hope you would never judge me for that. And Tim Scott is like very fixated on a 15-week federal ban. And Vivek Ramaswamy was like, as a man, and I do think it's important for men to speak on this, I am anti-choice. And then Chris Christie was like, I don't think the government should be involved with you and your reproductive choices. I think the state government should be involved with your reproductive choices. For their closing statements, they all just stared straight at the camera and didn't talk about Donald Trump, as if this was a regular debate, as if one of them was going to be the nominee. And then Tim Scott stayed behind on stage to take a picture with his mother.